Welcome to Verbal Pick Radio, where we give you a verbal image of life, and we are everyday people. We dealing with the subject of wealth building, and as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, it was three things that the slave master and his children was not going to teach us, and that was the knowledge of business, the science of business, the science of warfare, and the science of mating. Because there's a science to wealth building. It's an actual study. You can't. It's more than I have an idea. Now let me build some wealth. So we're going to get into these particular topics today as far as wealth building, and we're going to get into these topics with a very capable young brother who has a love for his people, and he's always given his time to contribute to solution solving. We'd like to welcome him to the show, Brother Low Key. Welcome to the show, Brother Low Key.
What's going on, Brother Cole Black?
Oh, man. It's always good, man. I mean, especially when we building. And it's good, man. Because I feel this, man. I feel this energy, man, within the universe that we are dealing with economics. Mm-hmm. The bottom line is, in a capitalistic society, you cannot move without economics.
Right.
So, now whether it was in ancient times where we bartered or we dealt with gold, now we on a paper, and we're trying to find the resource that backs this paper, or some say our belief in this paper gives this paper value, but as far as inflation and debt and whatnot, or some say, like they did in Italy at one time, created their own currency. But a medium of exchange has always been prevalent in any society. Like, once again, whether you trading vegetables out your garden for wood they chop down in their forest, I don't know, but I always had to have a medium of exchange. Now, dealing with the wealth cycle and wealth building, how important, as far as the thinking, the mindset, how important a person's mindset has to be on developing the thought to build wealth.
Man, it's so crucial. It's so crucial. And, since I came in the knowledge of self, I've been cultivating my understanding, and I've done a little something in regards to wealth building and studying, foreign exchange market, and Brother Cole Black is, been teaching me about, the market, and we've been conversing about it and exchanging ideas and moving forward. And it's, I still see such a lack in, me actually just, really getting knee deep in a lot of things bringing in economics wise, as far as I have my and things I'm invested in, that we gonna build on, me and you both, and our understanding of this aspect. But this is crucial right here.
Crucial. Well, Brother Low Key, the road, man, the road just to fight through all the murky ethers of youth, of people saying or condemning wealth. Mm-hmm. You got to fight the mindset to even to even go after building wealth, because people look down on wealth, especially when it came to us as a people.
Right.
We not supposed to have nothing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Black
Right.
folk, you not supposed to have nothing.
Right.
You ain't even supposed to have no shoes on you got there.
Right.
You get a nice pair of anything and everybody who you think you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But nah,
Right.
if you go back in our times, man, these brothers they walking around there with gold, everything on. You know what I mean?
Surplus, they're giving away gold, man.
Man, come on, man. He understood the importance of it, giving away gold. So Jesus, they brought him riches when he was born.
Right.
You know what I mean? They didn't bring him a potato sack and tell him to get dressed.
Right.
He had some fine linens, man. Fine threads, 100% silk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Brother clean. You know what I mean? So when we get clean, why we gotta fight each other to look good? Not saying that. No. I don't, man. Look, man. Not saying the fact that the material is what makes the individual. No. I'm saying you go get you 100% polyester shirt. And you go try you 100% silk shirt on and see which one you can think better is. You can't think because you itching all the goddamn time in the polyester, you know what I mean? You trying to concentrate, you down there about to scratch your skin off, man. You itching like, you know, so, man, we got to get out the illusion, bruh. Go get that paper, man. And then when you get that paper, provide it within your community and spread it, you know, throughout your extended family. You know what I mean? But there is an important special. Capital is capital. Capitalistic society refers back to capital. All of it, really. You know, folks done got conquered for having less. So, in this dispensation in time, we can't handcuff our next generation and to making them think it's okay to go without. But now, how do we get especially a lot of the Christians, a lot of my Christian brothers and sisters, and when we say poor, righteous teacher, we not saying be poor and teach. Poor, righteous teacher or the poor rate is you humbling yourself to give that knowledge to where you don't see yourself as beneath or above an individual you talking to, and then you value silence. So, in that aspect, how do we get our family to stop dogging each other when one seeks wealth that they can benefit from when the wealth is achieved?
I think that, you know, whenever we get together, whether it be a reunion or otherwise, is that, you know, we start, you know, we could print some things up and pass around to the family in regards to simple methodology of putting a little bit of money away to start attaining things such as, like Brother LaRon was saying, you know, home ownership, you know, getting into like what Brother Cole Black is into and investing in gold, you know, what I'm into for my son Zion Akibulon, getting into silver, you know, as not, now when it comes to gold and silver, I wouldn't say that that's something to get, you know, where you're going to get instant gratification from it. That's a wealth building. That's something to the side, because the thing about, you know, gold, silver, palladium, and platinum, etc., is that these things, they hold their value within their own constitution. It's not predicated on a person or something outside of itself in regards to its value, and it's international. It's always going to hold its value because it's a valuable, precious metal. So you know,
you saying it's a long-term asset?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Definitely. So that means then that. Let's say one. Okay, we'll do a part so everybody can relate. We're gonna take it to the streets then. Okay.
And for the low, for the streets, like these things, you can get your ounce of silver for a very, you know, affordable, you know, $20. We're looking at something like we're around $20. You know, you can get a gram of gold for the low. You know, so this is money that we blow on weed and on, just on we just throw this money away. You could put this away every couple of weeks, every month, and that stack up for your children. This is how other nationalities are able to just have money to play with when it comes to investments. We invest in something, we go broke and we ass out. So we gotta get into wealth building so we can not only just have it for ourselves but for our children, so that way they can make a mistake in business, because business owners know that you're not in the beginning is you can expect it ain't about profit. You might take a loss, you'll be in the red, but it's for the long term. Okay. And you're doing something that you don't mind, engaging in, because down the line is gonna be profited, and it's gonna get you off the clock if you own the clock, and you're gonna be able to be self-sufficient for you and your family.
Okay, now tell this young man, give him some wisdom or some advice, and let me set the scenario up right. And it happens in today's time in 2016, and I went through it in the early 90s, right? Mm-hmm. Young man getting out there hustling, grinding, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so when I'm building a little wealth, mm-hmm. the young man takes this wealth, right? Mm-hmm. And then he blows it on all material objects to impress females, and then to impress the street so they can say, look at me. Mm-hmm. Then one older gentleman told me, he said, well, sometimes we used to not having nothing, to when we get something, we got to show everybody we got something. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. How can you stop that mindset so when you do get, because when you get it, it's hard to keep it. So when you blow it, it's hard to get it back, because you got to work just as hard to get back what you already had. Right. So how do you keep, when you get it, how do you keep it without trying to impress or show everyone to say, hey, look at me, I have something now. Right. I mean, and that goes back even into the 40s, 50s, and 60s, and they went with. I heard stories of older people when they had meat mm-hmm. in the morning, when they got a chance to have meat in the morning for breakfast, they would put it on their skin and go to class and show the other ones, man, I had meat this morning. You know what I mean? Right. With the crew, we got, it's like, why do we feel the need to show each other we got something?
Yeah, caught up in materialism and luxury, this concept of luxury, which is really something that is foreign to us, because, let's just use Africa, for example. I mean, these things are in such abundance when it comes to, precious metal, gold, silver, diamonds, tanzanite, you name it. Like, we had it in such abundance that it was like, it's nothing. Right. We even in Little Rock, I was listening to Brother Panic was talking about, he did a lecture there, and he said that you can go, into somebody's yard and dig up, some crystals, some precious, something that holds value, it's, whatever form, it's in a solidified form, and that's why they call it Little Rock, actually, so they deal a lot in trade when it comes to gemstone, products, right. So the thing about it is that, for the hustlers out there, is that you always want to put some money to the side. And if you got to put it into, into a form to where you're not going to touch it, if it got to be into some precious metals, or if it got to be into some stocks, bonds, or whatever the case, you do that. You do that so you make sure you don't dip into that money. Because the problem is that for some of us that will put away that money, is that certain times, hard times come up, quote unquote, and then you dip into that money, and then you broke again. Right. You ain't got nothing. I know. Yeah. And if you ain't working a 9 to 5 and you a hustler, then you ain't looking at no 401k or no thrift saving plan, anything of that nature. Right. So, and another tactic that I utilize is putting my money in a lot of different places. I got a couple of bank accounts. One account with Unity Bank, the only black bank in Texas, and I got money in, like I said, in precious metals, and then I got stash spot here, stash spot there. Yeah. So my money is spread out, so I don't never, it's like if I am short on just paper money, I always got all these different places I can go to grab onto some resources.
That's right, and that's valuable. That's that when you have things in different spots, that's a form of creating peace, because you don't want the burden of having it, then losing it, then working hard to retain or to get it again. The chemical explosion it sends through the brain can cause a physical effect on the body. Or once you become diseased, then you setting yourself up for a disease.
Right.
So the object and the purpose and the goal of this talk, and really the goal of this radio show in particular, is to ease unnecessary burdens where you can apply math and science to the problem, to where you don't stress yourself out on solutions. Just or meaning come out of the emotional thinking. We're men, and I seen that, and I gotta say it. A lot of cats that are claiming to be gangsters are actually sensitive, and I'm saying that due to the fact that you thinking out of emotions. You get in a dispute with your brother, and your first emotion is to kill. Really, that's womanly. We are actually diplomatic, and we sit down, we do the math and science, then we go to the brother, and then, okay, down the line, whatever result it may come to, okay, cool. But the fact of the matter is that we hold court. We don't fly off emotions off the handle. We sit back and we analyze and we move strategically.
Right.
Or we sit back and we analyze and then we have a diplomatic solution depending on the amount of the money. I mean, come on, man. Kill somebody over $20.
Yeah.
And risk the rest of your freedom.
Right.
Then that's not manly, bro. That's
right.
That means a problem presented itself to a person. They couldn't handle the problem, so they ran out and running in circles with their hands in the air yelling, and created a situation based on emotion.
Facts.
We don't do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now we finish because I make a calculated move. This brother make a calculated move. Now, if we cross each other's paths, first we're going to say, okay, well, how we going to benefit each other from this, man? Is it a profit to be gained? If we unite, can we make the pot bigger?
Right.
Okay, we'll look at it. All right, cool. Or, well, man, now you too far to the left, I'm too far to the right. I don't see us merging in business. Okay, well, where respect is due then, okay, we got two different products. Then don't have yours spread over into my yard.
Infringe on yours.
You don't infringe on mine, I won't infringe on yours. And okay, cool. Then that's called a peace treaty.
Right.
We dab it up and we gone.
Right.
Now we got our politics and we good.
That's
you know
good.
what I mean?
That's what's up.
No hard feeling. Then I tell people I know, hey man, don't go over there messing with dude.
Right.
And he tell it folk don't go over there messing with them folk. Everything good. We peace and unity. It's harmony.
Exactly.
We ain't dealing in the same trade no way.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in that sense, you know what I mean?
Yeah, cut down on so much confusion.
So
operating
much
in that
confusion.
nation. Yeah.
And then, hey man, and then look. I don't care if Hillary is the next president or not. I don't mean look. Men, when we sit down at a table, and if you got a queen sitting down at a table, everybody know their role. You know what I mean?
Right.
If two men we sitting down here talking, and a brother's female companion jump up yelling, "Oh nigga," you like, hey, hold on, you calm her down, man. You know what I mean? Or it's like when the baby crying at the lecture, take the baby out the lecture. You know what I mean? Take them out. So business can still be conducted. And I'm not saying this on a chauvinist. No, because the importance of the female is her intuition. She can sit and monitor, and she can put her math and say, well, from what she obtained and put her intuition on it, then she relayed back the message. And then it'd be good to heed her warning because she's in tune with the nature, with Mother Nature.
Right.
You know,
Right.
she could say, at this time, this universe, through this sign, whatever, you might want to wait till the month of so-and-so, or you want whatever.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
then we take that in consideration.
Right.
Cool.
And that's how we counsel with each other.
Bam, man.
Right. Well, yeah, and that's great, always great, excellent points. Called Black. You know, we gotta get into duty, and you know, if you study symbology and understand that, you know, a man's duty and natural function is to, you know, operate as the perimeter, you know, to go and gather up energy and bring it back to the womb or the home to be cultivated, and the woman operates as the interior. Man, you know, it would cut down on a lot of confusion, man, if people, you know, get into the science of duty and get into symbology. And then you can get to the core of these things. You know, you don't got to get all wrapped up in the titles, because titles can bring about, you know, arguments and, you know, ego, you know, flexing on the ego aspect. You know, if we can focus on balance, then that's what we build off of, and that's what works.
That's right. The balance, man.
The balance.
The scale is balanced.
Yeah.
Then balance brings justice.
Right.
Well, come on, man. Yeah, that's
Yes,
what
sir.
I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
That's what I'm talking about. So that's the movement today that we have to work on common ground and balance. And we got to deal with this thing, and we got to deal with the language barrier, this language thing. We got to, because both sides is right, but we got to balance this thing out, man.
Right.
Do I need to speak a different language as far as Swahili, as far as Yoruba, Igbo, Arabic, to understand what the ancient was writing about, when I can go outside and just look up in the sky and look underneath my feet to know what they was writing about, because they was writing about the creation.
Right.
Sun, moon, stars.
Right.
Earth, wind, air, fire, water.
Yes, sir.
Feng shui.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I can go and look at that, madam, and sit down and draw my symbolism. I can draw the river, I can draw the sun, and I can draw some steam coming out the water, because the sun hitting that water and it's causing it to steam.
Right.
And you can look at it and be like, okay, well, this portion steam, this portion don't have the steam on it, so that means the sun from that distance is not striking it, so it's not heating to that degree. So, man, we communicate.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's all player.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Man, come on, you.
Yeah.
But I don't have to beat you up, and I don't have to beat the person up in a different language, or say, you know, you saying the same thing in 5 different languages.
Right.
I draw the picture.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
With
right.
some map colors if I have to, but
Right.
it's still the same damn thing.
You dealing with the symbols.
We doing the symbols, man.
know?
It's all symbolism.
That's all it is.
Like you said, it's a symbol. The sun is a symbol, huh?
Facts.
Hello, somebody, man.
Yeah.
we get into it, man. Yeah, but till next time, man, we gonna keep y'all with these interesting topics, man. I mean, you know, when you got two or more minds, you know what I mean? This brother definitely tapped into the universe, bro. Believe me, you know what I mean? I mean, to have wisdom, man, because coming up, you know, you didn't have 50-year-olds with the wisdom this young brother got, man, low key. So, you know, man, that's why it's always a pleasure. So definitely, man, we're going to continue to work and build, man. Y'all get y'all money up. Super Bowl coming to H-Town, man. Look, I want to see, be out there with your jewelry, with your unks, your African medallions. Sell them too. Yeah, you can have, create wealth. Got an influx of people coming down here, so grind, shop your opportunity. Shop your movies, shop your demos. You know what I mean? You know, big up to H-Town. Your food, you know what I mean? Whatever. Hey, they coming, get ready, and grind. And we got Verbal Pick Radio.
Yeah.